So this morning, let's talk about money. We have a question from Paul on Twitter. Paul asks, what is a debt to income ratio and why does it matter? So this is a fantastic question. Let's dig into it for a minute. So anytime you borrow money, you're a debtor or a borrower. And on the other side of that relationship is a lender. And the lender has one primary objective, and that is knowing that you can pay them back, that you have the ability to pay them back. There's a lot of ways they make that determination, or at least try to make that determination, but one of the key indicators is what they call the debt to income ratio. So if you ever want to borrow money, it's really important you understand this debt to income ratio and know what is a good target. Where should you land? So what is it? It is your debt payments compared to your income. We can do this annually, we can do it monthly, weekly, it doesn't matter, but the most common way is on a monthly basis. So we look at your income. Let's say you earn $5,000 a month. And then we look at all of your debt payments, not your water and electricity and food and things like that, just your debt payments. And we compare those to each other. So if your debt payments are $1,000 a month and your income is $5,000, then the debt to income ratio is 20%. You see how that works? So $1,000 is 20% of $5,000. The way that you calculate that is you take your debt payments, divide that by your income, and that as a percentage is your debt to income ratio. So 1,000 divided by 5,000 is 20%. The important thing to remember here is you're always doing this calculation post-transaction. So you're assuming that the loan was approved and looking at what your debt payments would be after the loan. So as an example, let's say right now you have $5,000 a month of income and you have $500 a month of payments. Maybe you have a car note, student loans, whatever. Currently, your debt to income ratio is 10%. That's not what they're going to look at. Let's say you were buying a house. They're going to look at what it would be after the purchase. So if your mortgage is going to be $1,000 a month, they're going to say after the purchase, your debt payments are going to be $1,500. And so what is that now? Now it's 30%, right? So your debt to income ratio is now 1,500 divided by 5,000. That's 30%. So now that you know how to calculate it, the question is, what is a healthy debt to income ratio? Well, generally speaking, mortgages, which are kind of your most important lending item when you're considering debt to income, mortgages want you to be somewhere below 35 to 45% debt to income. 43 is typically the highest that any mortgage would ever get approved. But really they want you to be closer to 35 so that if you have a little bit of change in your income or your expenses, that it doesn't push you over that 43% level. So a general rule of thumb is if you want to buy a house, if you want to get a mortgage, probably 35% or less is where you want to be. Things like car loans and of course credit cards, some of those don't even look at debt to income ratio, but bigger purchases are going to look at debt to income, and being under 35 is pretty much a necessity. So a good goal, in my opinion, would be somewhere around 20 to 25%. If you could land between 20 and 25% on a regular basis, keep your debt payments within that range, that's a pretty healthy debt to income ratio.